Protein markers of dementia. Hi friends. Scientific research has recently detected a biomarker, that's the presence of certain proteins in humans of dementia and Alzheimer's disease 10 to 25 years before its onset. Presence of this protein tells the clinicians many years beforehand whether a person will later be identified with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a brain disorder that slowly destroys memory and thinking skills and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest tasks needed in daily life. In most people, symptoms of this disease first appear in mid-60s. It's the most common form of dementia among older adults. The disease is named after Dr. Alois Alzheimer, who in 1906 noticed changes in the brain tissues of a woman who later died of an unusual mental illness. Her symptoms included memory loss, language problem, and unpredictable behavior, which majority of people consider not as a disease but a condition that is bound to occur very often in the older people. After she died, he examined her brain and found many abnormal clumps known as amyloid plaques and tangled bundles of fibers known as neurofibrillary or tangles. These plaques and tangles in the brain are still considered some of the main features of Alzheimer's disease. Another feature of this disease is the loss of connection between the nerve cells or neurons in the brain, which transmit messages between different parts of the brain and from the brain to muscles and other organs of the body. Many other complex changes are also thought to play a role in Alzheimer's. The damage initially takes place in parts of the brain involved in memory. It later affects areas of the cerebral cortex, such as those responsible for language, reasoning, and social behavior. Eventually, many other areas of the brain are also damaged. Pathological changes involved in Alzheimer's disease occur in decades before the onset of cognitive deficit, but it is not easily detected at that stage. A cohort study of Dr. K. Walker et al. On middle-aged adults identified specific plasma proteins that increase risk of dementia, which occur up to 25 years later in life. These proteins were characterized by dysregulated immune signaling and proteostasis, a biological process that controls proteins in cells that signals onset of dementia 10 years early. Dr. Walker's team used a large-scale proteomics platform to examine the association of 4,877 plasma proteins with 25-year dementia risk in 10,981 middle-aged adults. They identified 32 dementia-associated plasma proteins involved in proteostasis, immunity, synaptic function, and extracellular matrix organization. 12 of those 32 dementia-associated proteins were associated with cerebrospinal fluid biomarkers of AD, neurodegeneration, or neuroinflammation. 8 of those protein markers were abnormally expressed in brain tissues of patients with Alzheimer's disease in the postmortem study, although some of the proteins were most strongly associated with dementia risk, such as GDF15, that is growth differentiation factor 15, a protein encoded in human genes, were not detected in those brain tissues. I'll soon come again with another latest research made simple and easy for all to understand. If not yet subscribe my channel, please subscribe, like and share. Thank you very much. I am Edwin Williams, EJW Science and Research. Reference K. Walker et al. Science Translational Medicine, Volume 15, 705 page of 2023. Thank you.